All right. What's up, beautiful people? We have a very talented and special guest today, a Mr. Jean Robert. Um, I'm sorry,
Edward.
your last name?
Edward.
Edouard. Mr. John
Yeah,
Robert Edouard Jr.
yes.
Um, he's a Queens native, a very talented painter, as well as he works in design, fashion design, and many other things that I'm sure we will talk about. Thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you reached out to me. I was waiting for somebody to, try to do a podcast or something like that. I was waiting for that moment. So
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
it's all good, man. Just I found you off of TikTok, surprisingly. I was just scrolling through and I seen a lot of your work, which is really amazing and beautiful. Tell me a little bit more about your background. How was growing up in Queens, and how did that help mold you into the artist you are today?
uh like I believe I had an amazing childhood growing up in Queens. I had a lot of friends. Um okay. Um I had a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends, and yeah, childhood, like growing up in Queens, was normal for me, man.
Mhm,
Uh, you know, uh, yeah, I don't know what to say. Like it was just normal.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, like nothing too crazy. I grew up in a two-parent household. I'm the youngest. So yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. It's kind of same for me. I'm from Washington D.C. originally,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the news would say it's like a rough place, but it was normal to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
a lot of my friends that I grew up with um, are not into the arts as much as me or my wife. So
Hmm.
even though I still relate to them, a lot of those guys that I grew up with are still on the block. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's tough, but I still gain inspiration from those people. Did you gain any like inspiration from your surroundings that influences your
Well,
art?
Well, like my brother, he started a car club business, right? Him
Mm,
and his best friend started a car club business called Drastic,
mm,
and they do lowriders. So, like, their group was the first to bring the lowrider, vibe to New York in a way, and
mm,
I was always around that. And also, my mother, she was a baker,
mm,
so I get inspiration from that. My sister, she's a designer. So I used to get all my inspiration from that. So like I was surrounded by, the arts in a way. You feel me?
mm,
So yeah, I gained a lot of most of my friends never was into art. I was the only like oddball in the group that always, drawing, painting, trying to, think outside the box, but yeah, yeah, man.
yeah. I grew up with a few Haitians going to school, and their parents were extremely focused on my friends getting like going to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or something of that echelon. Like, was that pressure put on you as you were growing up, and when you told them that you were going to be an artist, how did they react to that?
Well, for me, it was never a pressure for me, for me to, my mother, my father, they never, trying to push me into like go medical or anything like that. They never done that.
Mhm,
But like, I guess they wanted me to find my way, like my mother, she wanted me to, of course, granted, she's, my mother, she wants me to, do good. So the
mhm,
only best way to always have a job is the medical field,
mhm,
always,
mhm,
but I was never was into that, never was into that. So I was always into like creating, making stuff, like anything and everything, you know. So and it I don't know, like it wasn't, you know, hard on me about that. You know, they loved it, you know, that they have a son that's painting, drawing, because I believe my mother, I may get this wrong, I don't remember, but my mother's father or her brother, we shared, I never met him, but we share the same similarities in creating. Like
Mm.
what I do, you know, my mother, father, brother, they used to do that, you know, and it's I guess like my mom, she's still amazed at what I could do to this day, you
Mm.
know. So she still wants me to do medical stuff, but you know, it's not my thing, you know. It's really not my thing, you know.
I just know that the work ethic, you know, that they put on, that your parents probably put on you, helped influence your art too. You know, a lot of my Haitian friends, like if they would get a 98 instead of 100 on a test, their parents be like, "What the other 2 points at?" You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's that work ethic, and I really appreciate and admire that about, you know, people, Black people from different cultures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I don't know, like I just feel like in like the Caribbean, you know, community is just the parents, they always hard on their kids. You know, you have to, you know, of course, you know, I get it, you know, you gotta strive to be the best. You know,
Mm.
I understand that, you know, but yeah, just me growing up, I just, you know, they never was like always hard on me. They never was that. Of course, you know, they always taught me right from wrong and, you know, be kind and good and stuff like that. They always wanted me to, you know, just follow my own path in a way, you know,
Mhm.
try to, you know.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
Mhm. What is
yeah.
your creative process like? Um, when you think of a concept, what's the process from the idea to putting it on canvas?
Um, it varies, man. Like my creative process, it's all over the place. I may say, you know,
Mm.
like it's all over the place where I could, I could like be watching TV or whatever, and I get an idea from a TV show. I'm like, oh snap, I want to create that. I want to do that, you know. Or I could be driving and I get a idea of creating something. Boom, I want to create. Like it comes in different areas where like, or my son, he could be watching TV cartoons
Mm.
and cartoons I never seen before. It's good cartoons, but I'm like, yo, this is amazing. I wanna do something with that. You know, so it's yeah, it goes crazy. Yeah, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah, not you know, that's yeah.
that's amazing. Viewing the world through children's eyes help keep us wondering. You know what I mean? Because my son, he's 2 years old, and I have to remind myself that every experience that he's having is brand new to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm 32. I mean, I haven't been on this planet long, but we often get caught up in seeing, thinking that we know everything, that we've seen everything, when that's really not the case. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
how has having a child or having children affected your art? Has it affected your art in any type of way?
No, to be honest, no. Like my son, you know, he's 5, so he loves to spend his time with dad. Like he's always with dad, so he likes
Mm.
to spend all of it with me. And then being that, like his dad, like when kids, I feel like when kids act from when they are born all the way up until when they get like maybe 10 and 9, they have that mindset of they just want to create and get
Mhm.
messy and all that stuff. So my son, he just at that point where okay, that is art he's creating. I want to do that too,
Mhm.
you know. And you know, we go back and forth where it doesn't. The only thing that I would say may, you know, I can't say stop me or probably may slow down my process is like if he wants to like if he needs something, like he wants my attention, like but he wants my like he wants me to focus on him like all day, every day, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I could be talking to you right now, he wants my attention as we speak right now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, yeah, it just never, I don't know, I just have that, I don't know, like it's weird. Like my mindset is weird. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to really probably explain it, man. Like,
I feel
yeah,
you. I kind of go through the same thing, especially from they're born all the way up to maybe like teenage years. They're not as independent um as we are, but it's just the fact that they just have that creative energy always. You know what I mean? It's always on 10. That's what I miss. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you have the I guess writer's block in a sense. You know what I mean? But
yes,
children, they can
yes,
always, their imagination is like crazy. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's what I love. Like, and I still, I'm trying to keep whole this whole attitude or mentality. Like, of course, like when we get older, we lose our creative process. We lose that, like, a sense of like how to create or how to like. Because I believe that kids, when they're young, when they're creating something or painting or whatever it is, they're careless. They don't think too much.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just do. You know, and me, I'm trying to keep, like, in a way, I'm trying to keep my inner child. In a way, like, yo, I want to create, and I'm trying to teach my son that too as well. Where like he could keep, even though whatever it is that he want to do later on in life, but at least he could still have that creative where like he want to, you know, do something. You understand? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's is the exact same way. He's picked up a love for drumming ever since he could hold
oh,
things
oh.
in his ever since he could hold things in his hands. Like one day when we found out we were eating like Asian food and he picked up the chopsticks, right, and just started
Mm-hmm.
drumming. So my mother
Mm,
seen this and bought him like a little child drum set, and for like the last 2 years he's just been banging. Anytime we turn on
wow.
like Anderson Paak or anything, like he'll just sit there, study, and do the exact same thing and bang, 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 bang. It's like, it's crazy. Kids nowadays
Wow.
are freaking crazy. Like they pick up things so quick, man.
Yeah. 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 It's crazy, but it's I feel like me being a new dad, I'm just basking in the experience. Like my
Mm,
son, he's experienced everything for the first time, and I'm just like just watching.
mm,
I'm not, you know, directing him. Like, of course, certain things I'm gonna steer him away, but I'm just watching whatever it is that he's doing. Like, to be dancing, because my son, he likes music as much as me, because I'm always playing music,
mm.
and just to see him like listen to some music and he just get his bob on, get his nod on and stuff like that. That it shocks me. I'm
Mm.
like, wow. Like, you just have to be amazed by like how fast they learn it. And like, I don't know how to probably explain it, man. Like, yeah, like I don't know how you felt when you see, your son doing certain things. I don't know if you sit there and just watch and like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I do that with my son. Like, wow,
It's just
you know.
fortunate, he was basically a quarantine baby. He was born in 2019. So
Mm,
when everything shut down, I got laid off, right? So I got to actually see him like grow, you know what I mean? Because from our
okay.
parents, they would have to take us to the babysitter or we would have to go to school. So we very rarely spent a lot of time with our parents. And, they didn't get that opportunity to watch us develop as closely as we are now. And
Right.
it just freaks me out to see a little guy that's like me in a lot of ways, but still has his own personality and his own, the way he carries himself, but
Yeah.
I still see a lot of me in him. Like, he's born 10 days after my birthday. So he's an Aries.
Wow.
So
Wow.
whenever he gets like mad or he has like a stubborn situation, he's just like me, which is crazy as hell.
Yo, that's good, man. Hey, that's
Mm,
listen, like that's amazing, feeling, man. Like it's amazing feeling just to see like, yo, like that's mine. Like
yeah.
that's me, in a small form, that is just me,
Hmm.
small form. And you get to see as they grow up, like different personality, like what they're gonna, how they're gonna be, when they get like 10 years old or teenagers, like how, me, I question everything. That's just me, I question a
Hmm.
whole lot still. So, Mr. Can you go please? I'm on the phone. Not right now. I'm sorry. I'm
Nah, take your
sorry.
time, bro. Take your time, but I love it. I
Uh,
love seeing Black fatherhood, yo. I love that.
yeah, like it's see stuff like that. It's like being that like I'm a new father, and it just means that I see a lot of people don't recognize Black fathers that's there.
Right.
That's there. People always acknowledge the fathers that's not there.
Hmm.
You know, and that's why I'm all on like I spent all my time with my son. Like I haven't worked a real job in like 6 years. This is my job. And
Hmm.
I made it to be my mission where okay, I want to spend every moment with my son. Every moment for his first steps, his his first steps, or his girlfriend, his kiss, or whatever it is. Like I am not trying to miss nothing because he growing up, of course, I had my father around, but he always working.
Hmm.
We never
Hmm.
had that bond in a way.
Hmm.
You know, so now it's just like everywhere I go, if I'm walking with my son or take pictures or whatever it is, people are like a shock, like, oh my God, he's spending, wow, good job. I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like
Right.
I'm
Right.
there, like I'm confused, but then again, everybody glorifies the father that's not there. You
Hmm.
know, like that's why like for Father's Day, I take it really seriously in a way where like, like yo, there's amazing dads out here. That's dads that's not their kids, but they still give that dad vibe. You understand? So there's
Right.
people out there that's doing everything and anything for their kids. But people don't see that like that. So, but hey, what can you really do?
That's why it's important, just to have platforms like these where we control our own narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We can show them better than we can tell them. You know what I mean? Because I went through the same
yeah,
thing. Um, when my child was still like a baby, I would wear the little sling joint that you
yep,
put the baby on his
yep.
chest, and we would just
Mm-hmm.
go for walks, and people would just wave me down and smile and say, "Good job, woo, woo, woo." And I'm like, "Yo,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we do. We go on walks. What the hell? Like, what do you want?"
Yeah, exactly. And I told like a friend of mine, I'm like, yo, like I know like a friend of mine always telling me like, yo, how is it? Like one of my friends, like before I became a dad, and I told a friend of mine that had kids, I said, yo, like how is it, have the kid? I was asking him questions. Say, listen, honestly, it's like watching your little cousin, but the only difference is that they don't go home. That's it. They don't go. That the only difference is like you're watching your cousin or your little brother, and the only difference is that they just don't go home after them,
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I'm like, yo, like being, hold on. Okay, sorry. Being like like dad, like, yeah, of course it has its ups and downs or whatever, but I'm like, it's amazing. It's amazing where it's good and scary at the same time, but it's amazing where it's like you get to like watch cartoons and eat snacks all day. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
like you could play, games, video games, and whatever it is. Like, who? Well, to me, like I love it. Like I take pride in, being a dad. I take pride in that. So yeah,
I definitely feel the same way. Um, when I look at your work, when I seen your work, for, when I first seen your work on TikTok, I had to go
Mhm.
to your socials and your website. And when I seen it, I see a lot of self-love and admiration for blackness and beauty. You know what I mean? I see a reflection of, the pride that's in our people. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? Is was
mhm.
was that conscious, or do you is it just natural for you?
Like I could admit, man, like for a long time, like I didn't like my skin complexion,
Mm,
you know, because I used to get picked on. Of course, when you get, when you in like middle school, whatever, kids are cruel, and I used to get picked on because of my skin
mm,
complexion. So then something happened where in my lifetime where like when I got older, that's when I started to love who I am and started to embrace, my, who I am as a person, my color, and also doing research on us, black
mm,
people, where we came from. I'm not talking about the slavery. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to
mm,
come from where we came from, you know, and being that like I, I, being that like I took this art full time, like for some reason, like I wanted to highlight like, yo, black people are here. We are God. That's what it is. Like we like everything, like we are gods, and that's how I feel. And I just feel like for every and I always tell my son that, my son, of course he's mixed, but I tell him like, listen, you're a brown boy. This is where you came from. We're king and queen. That's where, we're gods. You have to understand that.
mm.
And it just like from I don't know, like every time like I paint, you know, people of our color, just like I don't know, like the different shading of brown,
Yeah.
different shading of like it's just amazing,
Mm.
And I don't know, it's just a love that I love like to do. Like I may switch it up and I may do some Caucasian, but it's not the same. It's
Yeah.
really not the same. And yeah, I've just been doing that, and yeah, and then by me embracing myself and who I am, my skin complexion, that's when I could, really fully embrace like my love for art in many ways. I don't know if that makes sense.
Nah, I love that. I totally agree. That's just you controlling the narrative. You know what I mean? Because when we look at media, whether it's on the news or social media or whatever, magazines, we're not always shown in the best of light. And when they do show us, it's usually the most fair complected. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
So
right.
it's important to let the world know that there's more to us than just slavery movies. There's more to us than
Yeah,
it- it's just we come from scientists, mathematicians,
mm-hmm,
storytellers, painters, like artists, like kings and queens,
right.
like you said. Like our
Mhm.
history is so rich and deep, um, coming from the
Yeah,
continent, and everyone comes from us. So it's important for artists like you and other artists to just highlight the notion that black is beautiful, black is not monolithic, black is all of us.
yeah. Like it's, and I remember I was talking to. Sorry, I'm keep on moving around
Oh, it's
or
cool.
whatever. Um, I kept talking to one of my friends that like, yo, like I'm at that point on like, why is nobody making like a black king and queens movie like where we came from? Like
Hmm.
we are everybody always like there's so many slavery movies, so many tons. Okay, now I just feel like okay, we get okay, fine, we get it. But where
Hmm.
we came from, you understand? Like show the like show where like okay, yes, with kings and queens and where how we came to to be and all that stuff. But I just feel like they're scared to make movies like that or film like that or
Hmm.
whatever it is. I guess
I,
everybody wants to see.
I'll tell
slavery
you
stuff.
why, because they don't want another Haitian revolution out this joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like perfect example. Like I know of course we're getting off topic, but um I was talking to me, I'm a big sci-fi person,
Mhm.
right? I love sci-fi. And I love Star Trek. And I made a question like you know would be amazing if they do a black cat like Star Trek cat like a
Mhm.
black where like you know how they did Black Panther
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
alongside do something like that. Like I feel like that would be because of course they had they had a black captain that was a long
Deep Space
time ago.
Nine. Yeah, Deep
Yeah,
Space
Deep
Nine.
Space
I
Nine.
want. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sharp. I'm hip,
so
man.
I
I'm
just feel
hip.
like they should. Yeah, okay. So I just feel like they should make something where it's all black star like cat like like a black Star Trek. And I feel like
Mm,
it wouldn't be crazy well like A-list celebrities, but it'll give us the idea where like okay, perfect example. The guy Allstate, right? The guy that say Allstate,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. I feel like his voice, his demeanor, his attitude would be a good captain,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he give off that captain vibe, right? And Angela Bassett would be his number two, like a commanding officer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like stuff like that would be amazing. Like that's just me, I just feel like it would be dope, but people are not trying to. I just feel like they don't want to, of course, make that, or they're scared because for whatever reason, But I don't know.
I mean, I love
uh,
that, but there's a lot of different conspiracies on why a lot of
mm-hmm.
us in the inner cities are in the situation that we're in. You know what I mean? Um, Tupac once said, I don't want to change the world, but I want to spark the brain that does. And as soon as you
Yeah,
spark that brain, it's like a wildfire. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Everybody wakes up. Everybody
yeah,
wants, self-love, and is it'll be trouble for, quote unquote, the other side, because statistics say that they're a dying breed. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
and the way America is like just full of different people from all different cultures all over the world, it's getting a lot browner. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And just think about it. If you were a dying breed, what would you do? You would try to keep everybody else separated so you could stay on top.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true.
But let me get out of my Dr. Umar bag. um, what type of music do you listen to when you create?
uh, I listen to a lot of soca, reggae,
Mm,
calypso, Afrobeats, Caribbean music. I may switch it up, hit you with some jazz,
mm,
some neo soul, like all types of music, man. Like it has to be in a right moment, a bright mood. Like if
mm,
I if I want, to me, I work fast when I create. So if I want to work fast, I play some Caribbean music, some reggae, some soca. I work fast. I get in the zone. And if I want to take my time with creating, I play some jazz, some nice soul, some relaxing music.
mm.
So yeah, I listen to all different types of like music, honestly. Yeah.
That's great. Like I said, my partner is a painter, and once she
Mm,
gets in that zone, she doesn't hear anything. She doesn't talk. She doesn't eat. It'll be like 12
yeah.
hours, and she's still working on, that painting. Have you ever found yourself in that situation where you just like lost time because you're so consumed in what you're creating?
Yeah, plenty of times where I have to set a timer on my phone to I need to eat something.
Mm-hmm.
I could go, hours without eating and painting. If I'm painting something, and I could go hours and hours without eating food. And then the only time I will probably feel that I need to eat is either if I set a timer or if I feel dizzy. That's about it. If I don't feel dizzy, hey, I'm gonna keep on going. So
Yeah.
that's just me, man. Like as creatives, like when you're in the zone, yo, time doesn't exist.
Hmm.
Like time doesn't exist. You don't care. With me, I don't care what's going on in the world. I'm just worrying about myself. Like time stops
Mm.
when I create. So yeah, like yeah, pretty much.
Um, Speaking of, because I said I found you on TikTok earlier. How important is social media for you? Is it a good thing or is it like a detriment?
Um, it's a good thing to me. Like to me, it's a good thing. I don't know anybody else, but to me, it's a good thing in a way where I feel like you could get your work out there faster, let people, the world, to see what you're creating,
Mm.
and you could be inspired by other things you see on the internet, not only like outside, if I make sense.
Mm.
So it's okay. It has its pros and cons. Like um, yeah, it has its pros and cons. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
for me sometimes I just have to shut it off because, I want to create from my own perspective and it's hard because I follow a lot of artists, you know what I mean? And sometimes you take in art
mm,
and you forget that you took it in and subconsciously you create something, you might create something that somebody else produced. So, when I'm like in
right.
super creative mode, I have to shut everything out and just, go into my own introspective and bring whatever that is out.
Okay. Yeah. 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 No, I get that. Like, I remember when October, my Instagram has got hacked in October of last year, right?
Mm,
And that right there, it put a stop on whatever it is I was doing because my Instagram got hacked, so I didn't know what I was gonna do. And from there, I got off Instagram or social media for good maybe 2, 3 months. That's the longest I did that. Two, three
mm.
months, you know. And it was okay for me, to get off social media. But then again, it's just like I just feel give me one second, sorry.
Nah, take your time, brother.
Let's go. Um yeah, I just feel like I don't know, like man, like I could, there's times where I'll probably delete apps like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'll delete it off my phone purposely. I'll do it because we all know when we wake up in the morning or whatever it is, the first thing we go to social media, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
And sometimes like I do stuff like that, trying to, not worry about what I see on, social media, and I just create. I could go both ways, so yeah.
Hmm. Tell me about the first time you had an art show and tell me about the feeling um, you felt when you sold your first piece.
Okay.
Did that like
Uh,
solidify it and was like, yo, I could really do this as a career?
well, the first time I sold my first piece was when I was in middle school.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. When they had, you remember the Twin Towers was up?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's when I sold my first piece. Like I did a painting in my art class and a small little painting, and then somebody like anonymous buyer brought it. I don't know who that person is.
Mm,
Brought it. Bought the painting, and I always knew that I could take this art full time. I always knew it, but of course, people are going to doubt you and say, "Now you can't do this full time, or you're not good at it." But when I had my first art show, that was 2019, and it was it was like I don't know how to really properly explain it. Explain it. It was a joy, a big. I don't know how to really properly explain it, man. Like it was like
Like an out of body experience
Everything.
or something.
Yeah, it was just like everybody came out to see everybody to see my work in on the internet. But
Mm,
when they finally see it up close in person, it was a shock. And a lot of people show out, and yeah, it was amazing first art show I have had, like yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. So when I did my art show, my first one, of course I sold some paintings. Oops, sorry.
mhm.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Of course I sold my first paintings and whatever, but it was just I don't know, I done group shows before.
Yeah.
I sold paintings. But when you have your first art show, that's different. That's a different experience. Because it's your thing, your art, your work, so people come to view it, and it was amazing. Come to the point where like I want to do more and more and more art shows,
Mm.
So yeah,
I love
I don't know
that,
if I'm
man.
answering your question.
Nah, you hit it right on the head. It's just for me it was like a out of body experience. It's like I was there, but I was looking at myself from the outside. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
when you first start your craft, you never envision yourself making it to that point. You know what I
hmm,
mean? I
yeah,
mean, you might have ambitions to it. You can like visualize it in your head, but it's way different when you're actually there experiencing it. That you know what I mean? And just the
hmm,
energy that you get from the room, from the people, you know what I mean, and enjoying what you created. Because essentially is you're creating like a baby. You're creating something that started off as an idea and you put that on canvas or whatever medium you use. Like you're giving a piece of yourself to somebody else, or you're selling a piece of yourself to somebody else that they can
yeah.
cherish and hang up on their wall. Like it's a mind-blowing experience.
Yes, it is, man. It really is. It really is, and I love it.
Mm.
I love it.
Um, growing up in New York, we all know New York is the place of hustle. It's the place of creativity. It's the place of artists. Um, how do you, or if you, how do you just like, I don't want to say stand out, but how do you just like promote yourself to where, because it's kind of, I don't want to say oversaturated, but it's a competition in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, how do you stand out amongst all these other artists?
Um, it's hard. Like I went to me. I live in New York, yes, but I live upstate New York,
Mm,
right? And I made that decision to move upstate when I went to college,
mm,
right? Because I came to realize, like, listen, like if I believe if I didn't move away from New York, I wouldn't be the artist that I am now.
mm,
Because everybody, yeah, like your artist, somebody who's doing the same thing, exactly the same thing that you're doing. You haven't met that person yet. And mind you, in a big city. So for
mm,
you to stand out really is going to be hard. But sometimes like if you've seen on my TikTok, I do trench coat jackets, right? And with those jackets, that is a standout piece alone,
mm, mm,
and I don't have to worry about promoting myself crazy. I can just wear my jacket, and I already stand out from a lot of different artists, or creative as well. But by me moving outside of the city, living upstate, it made me stand out even more.
mm,
You know,
mm,
because like yeah, like I said before, like everybody's doing something in the same. And so for you to, yeah, I feel like yes, of course we all know the saying, New York is where dreams are made and stuff like that. But I just feel like you have to, in order for that to happen, you have to really bust your ass, like literally, bust your ass to actually try to make a dent in the city, to have people to recognize who you are or whatever it is. So that's why I live upstate, and for me, it's people. I get to
mm.
create.
Mm,
You know, when I do travel down to the city, I don't like to spend no more than like 3, 4 days in the city because there's too much going on in the city. Too much. I don't like
yeah,
doing that. So yeah, like that's what I pretty much do, man. Yeah.
yeah. I can agree. Growing up in DC, it's not as big as New York, but it's still a city. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And as artists, I think we're like naturally you know what I mean? Empathic. Like I don't know if that's a word, but we're gonna use it.
Yeah. Okay.
But we often collect energy from everyone, you know what I mean, in order to
Hmm.
create. And I've been to New York several times. There's a lot of different energy up there. Like you can be,
Yeah.
it's like I love it, but it's a lot of confusion at the same time. So
Hmm.
living outside of the city for me as well has, helped slow me down and, help me feel and think more introspectively on who I am as an artist and what I want to
Yeah.
create, you know?
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah, man. Like it's like I'm not saying, hey, I'm a city boy. I love the city, but if I want to create, I have to leave the city. I
Mm,
have to. If I want to create what I'm creating, I have to. There's so much distraction. There's so much distraction where you can't. Like I don't know about other artists, but for me, it's so many distractions where you can't. What they say, lower down the voices in a way. Like you
mm,
can't. There's so many voices out, in the world. Like you cannot think.
yeah.
You know. So me, I moved away and I could think. I could think clearly. I could create what I want to create or whatever it is. So without rushing it because the city is a fast-paced place, so
Mhm.
you have to rush it. When I'm upstate, I could just chill, relax, and just create, man. And yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
That's love. Well, I just have a few more questions for you. And after that, we like to play a little game with our guests called This or That. So if you're cool with that, we can,
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool. Um, what advice would you give a young John at like 12 or 13 that's just thinking about, pursuing this career?
Um, I would pretty much like the advice I would give is that like yo like try to soak up as much inspiration as you can,
Mm,
if that makes sense. Like um just be just make what you want to make.
mm,
You know, anything that's in your head, put that on paper. Like that's what I know it's different, but that's what I tell my son. Like depending on how you're feeling, if you're feeling happy, sad, or whatever it is, paint it. Put it on paper. You know, if make sure that you be your first fan, if that makes sense.
mm, mm,
Believe in you first. Yeah, of course, I know you hear the saying, you got to believe in yourself or whatever, and that's true. You have to believe in yourself, like try, like find, believe, yes, believe in yourself, but also have somebody to believe in you as well, to give you that extra boost in a way, if
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Hello?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I was pretty. Yeah, that's the advice. Like I was just say, yeah, just try to soak up as much information, like as far as trying to be an artist. Just don't be scared to create. Like, just if you make a mistake, or don't don't overthink it too much.
Mm,
Like if you're creating, don't think too much on what you're creating. Like, so you don't have to be too perfect in what you're creating. If you make if you make if you make a mistake, it's okay. The mistake could be an art as well.
yeah.
You know, mistake could be art as well. So don't. Of course, yes, you are a worst critic. You know, like we as artists, like depending on whatever it is that we are creating, sometimes we hate our work sometimes, but the other people may love it.
Yeah.
You know, so I would tell you my youngest self, like, hey, be passionate in what you're doing. Know that, you know, what comes being an artist, you need to know what comes with that. You know, of course, there's gonna be people where they're going to trying to tear you down from your art. There's gonna be people that going to not like what you create or don't believe in what you're trying to do. You know, you have to. There's a positive and a negative when it comes out to being an artist.
Mm.
So I say, yeah, just be passionate. To, if this is what you love to do it. Like that's what I tell my son. Like, listen, if you love to do this, don't worry about what dad say. If dad say, "Oh, don't do this," still do it anyway. You know,
Hmm.
if you wanna be a painter or whatever it is, and I don't believe in you, it's okay. It's fine. It's okay. Make sure you believe in yourself first. You know, that's because I learned that being that I'm 33 years old and being that like having some family, some friends, or whatever it is that don't believe in me for a while, it made me feel some type of way. Now
Yeah.
I'm at the age where I don't care. You know, I believe in me. You know, so I tell my youngest self, yeah, believe in yourself. Like you have to believe in yourself where it's sickening in a way,
Mm.
where you have to like trick yourself in a way like, yo, my stuff is amazing. You know, and I know we got off topic or whatever maybe I think we did, but I always tell my friends like, there's a reason why Kanye West is who he is.
I was just
Okay,
thinking the
Kanye,
same thing. I was watching a
yes,
documentary like a couple days ago. Like
mm-hmm.
it all starts in your mind first. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
give yourself those constant affirmations,
Mm-hmm.
it, it has no choice but to manifest into the physical form. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
His mother,
yeah,
just showing that his mother was a shining light, and she always, you know, showed love to him and gave him these gems that just put the battery in his back, and he just
ran with it.
constantly, yeah, and ran with it, you know, and he still
Yeah,
feels that way, even though he's going through some things right now, but
yeah.
he's a billionaire and one of the greatest artists for a reason, you know what I mean? And it all started in his mind first.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, like no matter how crazy the idea is or the painting is or whatever it is, like if you believe in yourself 100%, which is yes, like yeah, believe in yourself where like it's crazy, people's gonna believe, people's gonna follow. You know, you can't doubt yourself. Like, you know, that's
Right.
like Kanye, who he is. Like, you know, like he, you know, the stuff that he comes out with is like outrageous, but he believes in himself so much, people follow
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. And
That's
I would
deep.
tell, yeah, I would just tell, you know, my young stuff, yeah, just believe in yourself as much as you can, you know, like, and of course, and every time like people always ask me this question, I always revert back to Pursuit of Happiness, right?
Mm,
That movie when Will Smith was talking to his son and
mhm.
saying that, oh, if you have a dream, you go after it or something like that, you know, no matter whoever tells you you can't do it, you do it anyway. Something along those lines
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah, I would just tell myself, yeah, like, yeah, like just try to believe in yourself as much as you can.
I love that. I love that. All right. Here is the game. It's called This or That. I'm going to ask you a question with two possible answers, but you can only choose one, and the whole world depends on your answer.
Okay.
All right. First question: pancakes or waffles?
Oh. Oh, pancakes.
Really?
Yeah, man, I love pancakes. Like
Okay.
waffles is okay. I like waffles, but pancakes, woo, I like me some pancakes.
Yeah, pancakes are great, when they're homemade. But
Yeah,
I'm more of a waffle man. I'm not talking about like Egos or any shit like that. I'm like the Belgian joints with the big divots that,
homemade waffles.
you know what I mean, that collect the syrup. Like that's
Oh,
my shit.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I got, I
Got
get
to
it. I
think.
get it. I get it.
Next
What?
question.
Huh?
Next question. Puppies
Okay.
or kittens?
Puppies.
Mm.
Yeah, puppies. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. You just froze for a quick second. I know what's going on. Now, look, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. Um, I would say, yeah, puppies. Puppies are cute, man. Like, well, kittens are cute too, but like you can't go wrong with puppies, man. Like, puppies are
Mhm.
cute as hell. Right? You can't
Yeah.
go wrong with puppies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel that. I love puppies. Cats just walk around your house like they own the joint. So,
yeah, yeah.
I, yeah, puppies
Mm.
are where it's at. Next question: money or freedom? You can only choose one.
Mm, I believe freedom.
Mm,
Money's gonna come regardless.
mm,
So yeah, freedom, and like that's what I'm trying to strive for right now.
mm,
So yeah, I believe, yeah, freedom, man. Like freedom to do everything and anything without being ridiculed or judged or whatever it is. Like, yeah, freedom. Like, who wouldn't say freedom? Most people say money, but freedom.
I love that. I think that was the last one, man. Once again, I really appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me. I love your art and I love what you do, just in general. And I love Black fatherhood, man. It just warms my heart every time I see, a Black man just loving his kids.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
how can people get in contact with you? Maybe possibly for a commission or just to keep up with you on your journey.
Of course, to keep up with me on my journey, it will be on Instagram. My Instagram name is old school, is OSK2Os, the creator, right? And then that's the same name as my TikTok. It's the same name. So yeah, like, then I'm trying to work on a YouTube channel for my art as well, and and Twitter as well, my art as well. So yeah, those are the two platforms. Pretty much that. Yeah.
Amazing. Once again, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with
Well,
me
thank
and our listeners, man. I wish you nothing but success in your field, and love is love, man.
you. All right, man. Thank you. Hey, thank you for having me. Hey, I've been saying this for a long time. Like, I need somebody to put me on a podcast. Like, I've been saying this for a long time. So I'm happy that you reached out to me, and I say, hey, let's do it.
Perfect,
So yeah, man. Thank you for having
perfect.
me up as well.
No problem. Once everything is edited, I'm just gonna reach out and let you know when we air it, and yeah, I really appreciate it again, brother.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Cool, cool. Peace, man. Have a good night.
How you too, man. Peace,
All
man.
right.